Hello, welcome to our next installment of Frequently Asked Questions in association with Noise, Vibration, and Acoustics. My name is Sheba Paul, and I'm with the Land Use Group at HGC Engineering. Today's question we've received from a number of clients and from inquiries on our website, and that is, what is the difference between a noise study and a land use compatibility study? So I think I'll explain a noise study first. A noise study is often required by the municipality or other reviewing authorities, such as a railway. And this is one of the many studies that is often required for a development application as it proceeds through the process. A noise study, we look at transportation noise and stationary noise. So near a development site, often there can be road traffic, rail traffic, aircraft, subway traffic, or streetcar traffic. Those are all transportation noise sources, and we do noise predictions to determine what the sound levels are at the development site. For the stationary noise portion, we always do a site visit, have a look around at the area, and determine, are there any significant noise sources such as a commercial use or a grocery store use or an industrial facility that could have some noise sources that can impact our development site. So as part of that review during the site visit, we can talk to different people, we can look at what are the noises, we can do noise measurements on site, or we can use some of the measurements we've done from previous projects, come up with a noise model, and determine whether there are any impacts at the development site. And then as part of some of the recommendations that we can have for our development, it can be things like noise barriers or upgraded constructions, or potentially just a noise warning clause or some architectural solutions. So there are a number of ways to kind of mitigate the noise. And it can be on our development site, or it can be at the commercial site if you can get some cooperation with that commercial user or industrial user. All of the information that gets put into the noise report assists the municipality or reviewing authority by coming up with that development agreement or subdivision agreement. And that is a legally binding document between the municipality or reviewing authority and the developer. And that gives some emphasis to the developer to construct what they intended to construct with the noise control measures on that site. I think the second part of our question is, what is a land use compatibility study? Sometimes we get questions about, can you do a noise brief? And I tell clients that really there is no such a thing as a noise brief. We really do need to go to the site and do some detailed review and some calculations. So what they ask for as a noise brief often ends up being a land use compatibility study, which is a little bit of a longer document. And the compatibility study uses D1, D6 guidelines from the Ministry of the Environment. And the guidelines really outline how to do some of the analysis while you're on site. And it looks at the classifications of various industries. So there's 3 classes, class 1, 2, and 3. Class 1 is really a business that does just daytime operations. Class 2 can be a business that does day and evening, for example, and some shift work and has outdoor storage. Class 3 would be something that would be much more heavy industry and really is not compatible with a residential type of use or a sensitive type of land use. So we look at those types of industries, classify them, and look at what kind of distances we're getting from our development site to these industries. There are some zones of influence that are used, but then there are also some minimum recommended setbacks. So once you know the classification, you know the minimum setbacks, we do a noise study. Look at the different noise sources and see if there are any excesses. And a technical study, such as the noise study, is completed to come up with any recommendations. You may not have any recommendations at all, but there could be some instances where you need a buffer, or you need a noise wall, or you need some sort of solution either on the development site or at the stationary noise site. And the compatibility study really is there to try and ensure that any industry or commercial use does not get impacted by the introduction of residential uses. So we really do try to look at, whether any active environmental compliance approvals or ECAs are already in place with the Ministry of the Environment, or maybe they've already done some sort of acoustic assessment or some review of their noise in terms of their operations, and already are on their way to kind of making the area compliant and suitable with maybe existing residences, and it will help us with future residential uses as well. So really the difference between the two types of studies is a noise study encompasses both transportation and stationary noise. So it's all kind of controlled in one large study. And the land use compatibility study really looks at kind of distances and whether any existing industries or facilities may be impacted, and how we can mitigate any noise so that the land uses are compatible. I just want to mention that some of the terms that I've used are related to industries and commercial uses in Ontario, but certainly can be applied to other jurisdictions and other countries. And if you have any further questions, or you have a specific site and specific case where you need to do some more discussion, please feel free to give us a call, and we can certainly discuss your unique site and a project and come up with some recommendations and solutions specific to you. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again.